here. Obvious, we got a problem here. And it's more than just Alvin streaming Punisher. When life begins to suck, who's reporting it? Luckily, you got two friends who you won't forget. Coming live, Alvin and Fran on survival. Laughing non-stop, case drops on a cycle. Louder than intrusive thoughts off an iPhone. How they make the world seem bright with the lights off? AFs, it might as well stay up. Lies being told like that dinosaur BS. Magnifying glass to the ground if they don't see us. Having the time, roasting your favorite pizza. Bougie ain't an option, it's the wage. Take it to the grave, add moving to the place. You already know when they take the case. Laugh the pain away, it's affirmative murder.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Affirmative Murder, the equal opportunity true crime comedy podcast. I am Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, man, I'm the mailman. Can't you tell, man? Gonna post to it.
What up?
Fran, how are we doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be alive as always. And you know, before we jump into it, or maybe this is a segue in what we're going to talk about, to get the show started. For me, I like to live my life and thinking when I do stuff. So I'm like, I like to think about situations when I do stuff. So I go,
Of course.
I go
visionary, visualizing next step.
Exactly. So I go, what are the chances of this happening? Or I go, what's the worst outcome that can happen of anything I'm about to do, of any decisions I'm making, right?
Yeah. You're like Minority Report. You got screens. It's like every decision, you're like, if I go left, what happens? Boom, possibilities.
Exactly. And I go, and if the number's not looking right, or I go like, I go with my intuition, I go, just don't.
Intuition.
This don't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go like, you know what? That's a bad decision, Fran. Don't do it.
Got to say the nay no.
Yeah,
as Pootie Tang would say. Well, has anything recently happened, or you saw some people not adhering to that intuition?
I did.
Really? Go in, please.
People know how I feel about the Titanic.
The movie.
The movie Titanic.
Yes.
I'm a bit upset about that movie still.
Yeah.
But
a lot of factual inaccuracies in the film
exactly.
that you still have some gripes about.
I do, yes.
No secret.
So it's like, do I think the story of the Titanic is fascinating? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is the movie and the what happens is it compelling? Yes. But I go, I don't need to see it. I go, it's not something I want to go like, man, I would love to go down there and see it. I go, I just don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing about it.
I saw the movie. I saw the movie.
Yeah, I go like, I don't need to. That's one thing I don't need to go see.
Sure.
I can look at pictures. But the dangers of going down to thousands of feet of an
unexplored parts of the ocean. No person's ever been down there.
Unexplored. I go, I'm good. No, I'm good on that, bro.
Now, why are you, friend? Why are you? What's brought this on? What has this brought? How does this come up in your life? Why are you going down this path?
Well, then in news media coverage, there's this company called OceanGate where they there was this. Is it? Would you call it a some type of exhibition or type activity?
Like an excursion.
Excursion.
Yeah.
That that
I thought you were gonna ask me what I call it, a submarine, because no, I would not.
It's not even called a submarine.
Yeah, no,
it's called a submersible. I don't know. Boat. I don't know. Submarine. I don't know. But it's not a submarine. Whatever you want to call it. It's not a submarine.
It's called a pipe cleaner. Okay, it is a giant pipe cleaner. That thing looks like what I'll use to get hair out of the drain. That is not supposed to go down. It looked like a Sprite can.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yes, OceanGate Gate. We can get into this slightly. I don't really have many thoughts. There's this controversy about people having kind of fun about it. And here's what I'll say. Everybody wants to eat the rich till it's time to eat the rich, right? And I feel bad that some kid got guilted by his dad to get on that thing for Father's Day, and he didn't really want to get on it and was scared or whatever. But a group of people had $250,000 each to go do a really dumb thing that was unsafe. They signed a waiver that said, hey, man, this is not regulated or approved by any board that has any respectability. And if you get in this and it goes wrong, it's your fault. Yeah. And they signed that happily and then gave those people a check for $250,000. So I don't really have much empathy. They were in a situation to where they were told, hey, man, if this goes sideways, you're in one of the only things that even goes down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's only like 3 other things, and those things, if they could just come down here and look at us,
They don't
can't even.
They don't hold people.
Yeah, so they can't. Even if we go get the thing that James Cameron has that comes down here, it just is to film us dying. So there's no other ship that can come down here. People come get. So like the idea that people could do anything other than be like, what? Wait, what's this dumb thing these people are? They're trapped in a what? And I tell you like this, man, it was a funny couple of days on Twitter.
It was.
You know, I have empathy and all those things, and I feel bad that those people died and everything like that. But sometimes people just do some dumb shit. And it requires people to have a full release as a society to go, that's so dumb. I saw people going on the internet being like, you guys are so wrong for laughing at this. What if it was your family? And I went, it literally could never be my family. No. My mom would never spend $250,000 to go into a can of soda and go to the depths of the ocean to where they go, whales go here. And then you're going to go 20,000 feet deeper than the whales go.
Who live in the ocean.
There was no empathy for me. There was no like, how did they end up in this situation? By choice.
Yeah.
They paid $250,000 to go do something incredibly dumb. Yeah. For what payoff? To look at the Titanic on a screen? Do you know how, listen, friend, I know you don't like watch a ton of like History Channel, stuff like that, but there's literally hours and James Cameron, the director of the Titanic, has gone and seen that boat a bajillion times. He's taken a boat down there with cameras on it. We've seen all the angles, old plates, the ship underwater.
Like personally?
Yes, there's documentaries. Yes, he's gone down there too.
Oh, shit.
He's gone down there. I think they go down further than even he goes. And James Cameron has a bajillion fulfillion dollars. Yeah. If anybody can put together the ship that can take you down there, it's James Cameron. Here's the problem. James Cameron's ship, if I'm not mistaken, is a one-man vessel.
Yeah.
They wanted to commercialize going to see the Titanic.
Yes.
So they had to make a bigger thing, which requires more thing. They have to seal you into this thing. The idea that it doesn't have a door, they take another piece of metal, slam it up against the can of soda, and drill 12-inch screws. They're sealing you in a coffin. So when I think about those people's last moments when they realize, this isn't coming back up.
There wasn't no last moment. There wasn't no realizing.
Yeah, that's the thing I've heard from people like or from news reports is that people were involved in like speculating like the captain of the ship being down there pretending like everything's fine and the people not knowing. And a lot of people, experts have come out and gone, once this went sideways, that can crumbled and it imploded immediately. There was no we're running out of oxygen or we only have one bag of chips or, they start fighting. There was none of that. If something went wrong, the ship was gone immediately. Yeah. There was no timing there will be no movie starring Tom Hanks about this in 10 years where it's like they spend 2 days down there and they slowly die. And when this went wrong, they were dead immediately.
Yeah.
I even watched the video that a person like really explained how it works and, the way like the pressure is. Like they said, these people probably blacked out immediately.
But they said it happened so fast that your brain didn't even realize what's happening. That it happened.
Yeah, this was not painless. So, honestly, like thankfully for them, like it seemed like it was a quick thing. When it went wrong like in a millisecond.
Yeah.
So that's good. But no, I don't have any like empathy. This is people that have like exorbitant amounts of wealth. Think about, friend, $250,000. What is your dream to go see, to go look like going under the ocean to dangerous depths to see an old boat? What does a $250,000 trip look like for you?
It wouldn't even make a list. If I had a list of like 100 things, that wouldn't even be.
It wouldn't even make the 100 adventures list
at all. Like
the top 10 all involve like being on a beach with like the most expensive resort. People bringing me food all day.
$250,000, and I don't even know if this is enough money. Is me going to Dubai and like living like I live there every day. That's where
that could get you like 3 days of that. That could get you like 3 days. 3 days of being like, I'm a sheik in Dubai. Yes. That's what I want to. I want to live like a sheik in Dubai. Yeah. I think you could have a really nice 3 days.
And that's
like
that's
club every night. Tigers in your rented apartment. Going, driving a Bugatti. You could do all of that for like 3 days, and that would be like the trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm able to come back home and then.
Yes, you don't have to sign a waiver at any point in that trip where it's like, hey, you might die.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right. That's a really good point. If I had 100 trips on a list to make, going to see the Titanic wouldn't even crack the top 100.
No.
I could find 100 things better to do with $250,000.
Absolutely, man.
So, rest in peace to those people. Sure. And they are resting in peace. They wanted to see the Titanic. They're going to see the Titanic forever. They're down there. The irony is not lost on me that, the Titanic was this first of its kind vessel to go out and do this thing. And it was, the captain was arrogant and didn't listen to people's recommendations. Yep. And the same situation happened on a ship to go visit the Titanic.
But doing something and not having, it doesn't need some type of certificate or some type of, what is it called?
Approval from the state
or something.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's just.
And when the idea that there's documentaries or footage from the news out there of the guy being like, I control it with this GameCube controller.
Yeah, throw it around.
Isn't that hilarious?
It's adorable.
That's not funny.
Yeah.
I'm putting my life in your hands. You're like, yeah, I got this from Bass Pro Shop. All this right here, all this the doowads and the wiring and everything. Yeah, that's from Circuit City.
You got it from Radio Shack.
Yeah, I mean that's like crazy, and he's laughing about it. Like we're about to take this thing to depths that nobody's ever gone. And I want you to really think about that. 80% of the ocean is unexplored.
80% is wild.
We've explored more of space than we have of the oceans on Earth, right? And there's some scary stuff about the ocean. The pressure, there's black holes in the ocean. Yeah. I mean, there's like real scary stuff about the ocean that is unexplored. And this person was like, I'm going to build a ship and go down there on my own time.
There's a fish with a light that hangs in front of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also Finding Nemo. You've been hung up on that for like a long.
It's crazy, man. It's insane that you be going out and there's a fish.
It's so dark down there.
So dark as a fish with a light. It needs a light.
Yeah,
that it evolved to having a light dangling in front of it.
It's so dark down there that the fish had to get light bulbs on themselves. They got sick of being in the dark. That's how dark it is. It's not like a little bit dark, like when you wake up in the middle of the night and the TV's not on.
There's no light.
You can still see the room.
Yeah,
it's it's pitch black dark, and it was so dark that the fish was like, oh, we need to like change this up. Yeah. And they did it from within. They manufactured light bulbs on themselves. And those people wanted to go down there. Why not just scam these people? At least you'd be alive and having to deal with like legal ramifications, because they had to watch it on a TV screen. Yeah. The way I would have took that can of soda, attached a crane to it, and just swung them around in the air and pretended like we were going down in the ocean and just played footage of James Cameron going down to go see the Titanic.
On the screen.
And just wave it around for 6 hours. We come back up, then just dip it in the ocean for a little bit and act like you popped up. So when you open the gate, it's wet. There's water dripping from the can of soda. Yeah. And you go, that was crazy, right? Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'd rather that they did that than really go down there in a dumb thing that they made.
I think it's nuts, man. It's just, but a 2-hour-long drop and
free fall
in the ocean is just nuts to me, man. That's crazy.
And 5 people wanted to do that and paid to do it.
I think having that much money is a gift and a curse, because I have an opportunity to do something where it's like I have
you get phone calls that you and I would never get.
Never.
And you have them, and somebody can listen. There's people right now.
$250? That's chump change.
Yeah, before this happened, obviously.
Yeah.
There will never be another commercial trip to go see the Titanic or go deep in the ocean ever again. No. Now there might not have been any regulations or any. Now there will be. They're going to put regulations around the ocean, which is crazy because it's like nature, but they're going to be like, you can't just come down. You can't just go down there. Stupid. And cause a global catastrophe. Yeah. The news, it was, it caused international incidents because some of the people were from Latvia and America and England. So nobody knew who should go down and get them.
Yeah.
What nation should man the hunt to go get them? Nobody wanted to be the first person to go do it because they didn't want to take responsibility.
Yeah, man.
It's just crazy.
I was definitely refreshing updates. I was like, I wanted to
know. I was by my TV screen. This was, and also Twitter was just people were having a great time. People were like, oh, me if LeBron James was down there. And then showing footage from Baywatch and diving in the ocean and going swimming. Yeah. People were just having a good time with it because literally what else do you want us to do? I don't have a boat. Nobody can go get them. That's why when it was moment to moment updates and stuff, I was like, they're down there, and nobody can get them. No. And that's it. This is not going to be. I remember when those kids got trapped in the caves in the Philippines. A strategy could be worked on.
Yes.
And it could not work or it could work. Like there was time constraints and we got to act now. And even if we act now, we do everything to the team. We get the experts about scuba diving in here to come up with a plan. Yeah. Those kids could still die. And I watched the documentary about that and it was fascinating. It was incredible.
Yeah.
This ain't that. You get all the experts that you want about the ocean and pressure and everything. And they were on the news going, yeah, they're probably dead. Yeah. Like there was no optimism. There's no plan. There was nothing to help with other than when can we find where it went bad?
Yeah, and then
that's what we were waiting to find out.
Right. Then they brought up they were saying that if they wanted to go down there to try to see if they were stuck, the machine they had that can go down there, like, you know, just operated by like a controller, like from a ship that's on top of,
right.
It's like that takes like 48 hours or 2 to 3 days to, you know, to kind of prepare it to go down. Yeah. You just can't get it and go like, okay, we just like, you got to prepare that, take a couple days, and by then it's like, okay, it's too late anyway. But that's what they did. Yeah. The experts were like, oh, this takes like months of preparation for us to go down there, and they were like, no, we just sealed them up in a box and just dropped it down. We picked a spot and just were like, drop it here. Yeah. I just don't think activities like that where you can just pump them out like you getting like you going to the airport.
No,
that just doesn't sound safe to me.
You're making something that took decades and decades of science and mathematics to perfect seem like you can just buy your way into.
Trying to streamline the whole thing but you're cutting corners as well. It's like that you're cutting corners somewhere.
Exactly. Yes. Because if you ask a person that works for NASA, like, how much does a rocket ship cost? They go, oh, we have to use this super thin material, this alloy that it costs $1 million, a quarter pound and whatever. And the rocket fuel costs this. And then you got some guy like Richard Branson or fucking Jeff Bezos who goes, well, what if we use the second best metal? Exactly. And what if we use gas from like the gas station, like kerosene or like
we just use premium gas from Exxon.
Yeah, what if we use 93? High octane, we use 93 gas, pump it up in there. And what if we use like car seat belts? And now all the things that this NASA ship has done, hundreds of millions of dollars, you're trying to do it for $50 million so that you can cut your costs and make profits on the tickets and get in the black quickly. Yep. And you're sending people to the depths of the ocean or to outer space. I'm not interested.
Not at all.
Like you said, I have $200,000. I have $50,000. There are so many more things I could find to do than put my life on the line.
With a smile on my face. Not worried about.
With a smile on my face,
I know anything can go wrong, but it's like, I know you hop in that damn tin, whatever it is, and your stomach is like.
It should.
Yeah, like.
The way I would have pulled the boys in the hood and be like, hey, man, let me out the car. Let me out. They're like, but we're about to drop. Let me out.
As soon as they sit that boat, like, wait,
unscrew the screws.
You only can get out. You gotta close it from the outside. Oh no, I'm out.
Yeah. As soon as I heard that first, like they're like, because I like to think that they didn't tell them we're using 12 bolts from Home Depot to screw you into this. And I'm like, is that a Black & Decker drill? And they're like, by like the third screw, I'm like, no, I'm having a panic attack. Like, no, undo the screws. Put the screwdriver in reverse and take the. I don't want to do this anymore. You can keep the 250. Yeah. You can keep the 250. I'm out. But yeah, like I said, thoughts and prayers to them. Before we take a quick break, I wanted to touch on and get your thoughts on Fran. There's another video that's the next controversial thing that video that's surfaced on Twitter. I've got more detail, but if I get anything's wrong, my apologies. I'm just kind of trying to formulate the hypothetical to ask to you based on the situation. But there was a 14-year-old kid in Chicago whose mom was at like a carry-out spot and got into an argument with a man. I believe the son was either in the restaurant or in the car and then heard his mom arguing with this man, and he comes in and seeing a guy shouting at his mom. We don't know what happened before to get to the point of the shouting, but the mom goes, go get the gun to her son, which aggravates the man. And then he, because he's like, get the what? And now I think that this context is important. I know Chicago gets lambasted and, scapegoated a lot, but it is important to keep in mind there are 13, 12, and 14-year-old kids in Chicago committing homicides, right? Like it is an epidemic of violence in Chicago happening right now. So this narrative that like this was, and it's not a narrative, I'm just saying that we're supposed to go, this is just some 14-year-old little boy and and he was just protecting his mom. All of those things seem true from the video. But my point is, I know what's happening in Chicago. And this idea that this kid might have been like, "What's a gun, Mom? Get the gun. I've never touched a gun before." Like, I don't know if that's the case. That doesn't mean he didn't do the right thing in protecting his mom. But to make this the idea that this might have been this was the first time this kid ever saw a gun, and he just shakily ran in, and based on the actions and the actions afterwards and the energy of the video, for me, it felt. Now listen, I understand seeing red when somebody's threatening your parent. Yeah. I fully understand that. That's why I'm trying to lay out everything so I can give my thoughts on it and get your thoughts on it. But like, it felt like there was an argument taking place. And remember, we talked about that John Moran situation where his mom called. Now she didn't call him up there. He was already there. But the way she was like, "I'm in an argument. Hey, son, come up here and deal with this." Right. So this woman was in an argument with a man and told her son to go get a gun to deal with this man. And then this man is a man living in Chicago, knowing everybody's got guns on him. This is Chicago. Chicago is like really the world that a lot of like NRA people want. Everybody has a gun. Yeah. Like that's kind of the world. So like when that guy heard "go get the gun," he's like, "Go get the gun." Now I don't know why his reaction to her telling somebody else to go get a gun was to hit her. Yeah. It felt like a dumb thing to do. Yeah. But he hit this kid's mom. The kid comes back with the gun and shoots the guy in the back. The guy does not die immediately there. He takes off running. The kid chases him, shoots at him some more. The guy eventually succumbs to his injuries. And then the mom goes, "Hey, shoot his girlfriend too."
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's like, whether she thought that she was a witness or because she was talking shit, because the girlfriend was there and kind of being like, "I told you to be quiet. Like, you should have stopped talking to him like that before he got shot in the back." So basically the man, they're in an argument. The man and the woman are going back and forth. And then all his girlfriend's there being like, hit him, baby. Hit her, baby. You better shut up. And then he hit her and she was like, "Yeah, see?" Then her son comes in, shoots him, chases him out. And then the mom goes, "And shoot her too." Because she wanted to run her mouth and da-da-da-da-da. So, and that's where it goes. This is a 14-year-old kid protecting his mom. But now the mom's being charged with murder too because she directed him to do that. And then tried to direct him to shoot somebody else. Yeah. So it's like, is it wrong that guy hit that woman in her face? Yeah. Absolutely. But would he have shot her? Would he have shot him if his mom didn't tell him, "Go get the gun and shoot this person"? And that's kind of the debate. Now, what is your stance on 14-year-old kid, his mom's getting punched by a man, there's a gun in the car? What do you feel happens next or should happen next?
See, I can only speak on how I would handle this situation. So that's how I'm gonna answer this question. So
okay,
14-year-old
grown man hitting your mom.
A grown man hit my mom. My mom is everything. I think me going, thinking about like how this can go, and far as just like, me going, I don't care. I just don't care.
I'm not thinking about jail after this. You just stuck my mom in the face twice hard.
You hit a woman. That's not just
and that.
You hit
not just any woman, my woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I'm behind my mom 100%, and I'm whatever. If she feel like she's being threatened or whatever, she's being physically attacked in front of my face. Nah, man. I'm sorry. I gotta do what I gotta do. Now, shooting the girlfriend, that's excessive.
He didn't shoot her. By the way.
Okay. Well, that would be excessive if he did. But like, homeboy, nah, man.
Yeah, that's just in the moment, adrenaline, seeing somebody put hands. No, it's not even I'm not even thinking about it. Now, I agree. My issue is to you. Is there a difference to you in your mom being hit and feeling disrespected and being in danger? Or does it not matter? Like if it's like, "Did you just hit me? Shoot him!" Or like hearing fear. Like is there a difference to you?
I think there is a difference.
Like where it's like, "How dare you put your hands on me? Shoot this motherfucker!"
I think,
as opposed to, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm in danger." Are those two different things to you?
It is two different things. Maybe if it would definitely be if she called him, if he wasn't there, maybe she called him on the phone to come down here. Then that's like it's been time between the incident and when her son get down there.
You're escalating.
And then,
but it wasn't that. He was just to be clear again to people who don't know. He was there. He was either inside. He was either in the car and heard what happened and came in, and then she said, "Go get the gun," or he was in there and saw this happening, and then she told him to go get the gun. But he was there. He was not called up to the place.
But by him being 14, we don't know. I don't know what this kid looked like. By him being 14, this is a grown ass.
And you won't. Won't. We won't know his name. We won't know.
This is a grown ass man who wasn't a small guy, by the way. The video I seen.
No.
He like roundhouse.
Hit the
and
shit.
like,
He hit her really hard.
Hit her really hard. And it's like, and if she know that her son, I mean, if they grew up in the hood, she knows that he carries a gun. I was like, come on, man.
It's Chicago. I mean, I don't want to play into that narrative, but it's true. Yeah. Like
she wouldn't have said that if she didn't know he had a gun.
No, he's familiar. He was familiar with guns. He this. Yeah, exactly.
But I think I think the tone and whatever his mom said, I think that plays a big part. But if she's screaming like "help, shoot him," then it's like to stop him from hitting me. And I know you're 14 years old. You're really not gonna be able to do much if you don't have a gun. It's like no.
Yeah, a fight. Yeah.
Maybe she didn't mean kill him, but it was like shoot him to stop this from hitting me or whatever.
Yes.
Just to end this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But somebody hitting your mom is like you black out.
All bets are off. All logic. All the like. I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah. How can I de-escalate this? Like it's not. There's none of that is a thing in that moment. I mean, so I feel for the kid. I don't know how I feel about the mom then being like, shoot this person. It now felt like revenge. Like you people all being disrespectful. You're yelling at me, then you put your hands on me. Everybody's got to go. And that for you to be weaponizing your child like that and kind of pointing him at people and being like, and then her too. Yeah. That's where it goes to a point where I go, okay, well we should take this. We should go through the motions on this. This isn't just a cut and dry, open and shut self-defense. Everybody go home. There are elements of this that make me go, we should play this out. Like we should look at the camera footage. We should know all the details and really get this right, because at the very least, maybe this kid shouldn't be in the house with this woman. Like we should figure, a kid is involved. Yeah. He's 14. He did something that in my mind, if he's not the poster child of, Chicago that people like to paint, he's going to be traumatized by this. He killed somebody. Yeah. He even if you feel justified in it, you should not be like, man, I killed him, man. He was going to kill my mom. Or he was hurting my mom, so fuck him. You're a 14-year-old boy. You killed a man. That should sit on you. You should need therapy. You should need a lot of things. And so I want him to get those things. But I've heard so many stories, we keep up. I know maybe you do more, you used to keep up with like the Chicago drill music and all the, this street versus that street. It is a lot of young kids out there that are cold. Yes, for sure. Because they've been traumatized, lost a bunch of friends, and gotten revenge for that. By 14, 15 years old, these kids have, some of them have several bodies on their jacket. And that's in Chicago. I don't know about everywhere, but in Chicago specifically, it's very much with the music and everything. Having bodies and killing people it's like your rep. Yeah. It's like your reputation. How many people have you killed? And so these kids are killing people at 12, 13 years old. I'm not saying this kid is one of those people, but this is the city that they live in. And so at the very least, I hope that he gets the help that he needs and, therapy and any of those types of things. And if his mom is unfit, I don't know that to be the case, but if she's unfit, going to trial for this and going through the motions will bring that to light. Yeah. And I think that's important because he's a child. He's 14 years old. So I will be keeping an eye on this. I think it's an interesting like self-defense discussion. But yeah, man, you put your hands on the person that birthed me in front of me, and it's up. I'm sorry. Like I can't have any kind of negative things to say to the kid because I get it. But it is sad that he was put in that situation.
Yeah. The video I saw was maybe when she told him to get the gun, maybe that was before the hit. Because the video I saw, I didn't hear.
It was.
It was. The shot was immediately.
It was like they were. The video I saw, they were arguing, and then it was like, "Go get the gun." He was like, "Go get the what?"
I didn't see that part.
And he says, "Say something else. Say something again."
That's what I saw.
And I'm knocking you out.
The video I saw started there.
But before that, she said, "Go get the gun."
Okay.
It's like to the door. Like you can't see the doorway, but you can see like somebody's holding the door open, which I assume is her son. And she's like, "Go get the gun." And he's like, "Go get the what?" Now, I understand that reaction from him as well. But my reaction would be, he's 14. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. But like, you go stop that person. This person just said, go get the gun. And now you're going to hit the person who directed somebody to go get the gun. Now you're giving them more fuel to get the gun.
Yeah.
It's like he heard go get the gun and his first reaction was like, this is the person I'm arguing with. And you're like, oh, you're talking about getting a gun on me?
And he upped it up a little bit. And it's like, this.
I think maybe he thought she was saying, go get the gun and hand it to me. As if somebody wouldn't go get the gun and then just shoot him with the gun while you're hitting his mom. I think in his mind, we're in an argument. You just said, go get the gun so he can come bring it to you. How dare you threaten me like that? That's me getting into his brain as to why that made him more angry and escalated him. But it was so dumb to think that if somebody has a gun and now you're hitting their mom, why wouldn't they just shoot you? But I think if this goes into mental health issues, anger problems, that guy was already seeing red.
Oh, yeah.
And so logic didn't come into play about, okay, she doesn't have a gun. She's telling somebody to go get a gun. So if there's a gun around here, how about I get out of here? He's so angry. He's like, you just threatened me with a gun? I'm hitting you, and I'm escalating things to where the gun might get used now. And it cost him his life.
Man, that's crazy.
My whole thing is that people should just walk away. They were in a fucking roast beef sandwich plate, a hot dog, carry up, whatever, whether she cut him in line. There's no argument that should cost you your life at a hot dog place. There just isn't.
If his girl was there and told him to hit her, he wasn't walking away.
Yeah, he was probably getting egged on.
And that's just ego. I don't know what you want to call it, but if
you're not going to embarrass me in front of my girl. This was a bad clash of type A alpha personalities. Don't back down, and it went bad, and that's really sad. And I want people to do better.
Just walk.
This was just such a
leave, man.
This is just such a snapshot into society. The OceanGate thing is this crazy freak nature thing, but this is something that can happen any day. An argument at a store, somebody has a gun, and it goes sideways. An argument at a gas station pump, this is. I just want us to be better. Yeah. This really it's made me sad for that kid. What his life is, that the mom is a gun is just available in the car out. Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna definitely do some time for sure.
I wouldn't. I mean,
I don't know if it's he chased him.
Him chasing him.
Yeah.
Him chasing him changes things. But it made me sad for why, if it's his gun, if it's her gun, why do they feel they need to drive around with the gun just readily available like that? Why is their first instinct to get the gun? It goes to a bigger issue for me, and it made me really sad that this kid was told to go get a gun, and his first thought was it's problems. This is what we do. We go get a gun and we handle it. At 14
years old,
the fight or flight, the fact that he fought at 14 is sad to me. I know you're home, somebody breaks into your house in the middle of the night. If you fight instead of freezing up, that's great. But an altercation in the street and you being a kid and you not being overwhelmed by the people and somebody has a camera and your mom's being hit and you just go, oh, fuck that. Go get the gun. The fact that you were able to go to that mind state so easily at 14 years old, it really was sad to me. So, I feel for the whole situation, and I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does some time, or his mom. I wouldn't be surprised if they both do some kind of time, because whether she's negligent, I don't think she's going to get hit with any kind of murder charges. I could see her being hit with parenting-based things, negligence or something like that. I could see her getting hit with something like that for sure. So, unfortunate situation indeed. Man. It's a tough one. Fran, we do not have any Patreon shout-outs this week. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some fucked up shit. So stick around. All right, and we are back. Fran, this week we have a wild story. We've done stories like this before, but every story like this blows my mind. The psychology of it is always crazy. We will get into it, obviously. But this week, Fran, we are covering the story that the New York Post dubbed the Womb Raider. Yeah. So, I think people can speculate as to what that means before we get into it. So I guess it's probably proper to go give a bit of a, what do they call it? A not suitable for work. One of those. Yeah. What do they call that? A warning, a trigger warning, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with trigger warning. In the fall of 2015, Angelique Sutton seemed to be having the year of her life. She was an expecting mother and engaged to be married to Patrick Bradley, who was her longtime partner. On top of all the positives on her horizon, Angelique had also recently connected with an old friend that she had a falling out with years prior. Ashley Wade, who at the time was 24 years old, reached out to Angelique over social media with a maternal olive branch. Ashley informed Angelique that she too was pregnant, and the old friend re-sparked a connection. Ashley had spent the last few months sharing with the joy of her pregnancy with her boyfriend, her family, and friends and followers all over social media. So basically, Ashley, according to Ashley, she was pregnant. She finds out Angelique is pregnant. She goes, "We have not been friends. We had some kind of argument about a boy or clothes or whatever. And this is a great opportunity for me to reach back out to my old friend and reconnect." And so she did, and they hit it off, and they started talking again over Facebook Messenger and redeveloping their friendship and, sharing the joys of pregnancy. So from September to November of 2015, Angelique spent her time planning a wedding, growing a whole ass child, and swapping pregnancy tips with her old friend Ashley. That is until on November 20th, which was the big day. And I don't mean due day. I mean wedding day. It had arrived, but also she at this point is 8.5 months pregnant. So the baby's due any day and the wedding is here. Angelique and Patrick had decided to get married at the local courthouse. My assumption is to save money since the baby was due pretty much any minute. And, she was 8.5 months pregnant, and having a giant wedding at the time probably seemed unnecessary for budgetary and for stress reasons. Fran, I mean, I don't know, but that wedding was no joke. Y'all had flowers hanging from the ceiling and a open bar and all this type of stuff. The open bar will get you.
Yeah, man.
And then people coming and just drinking too much, having too much fun on your dime. Yeah, on your dime, I bet that hurts. I haven't experienced that yet where I throw a party and like, y'all drinking a lot, huh? More
turn
shots?
down a little bit. Just
y'all this is free.
More fun to me.
So I don't,
it's my wedding.
Drinking all this, y'all having too much fun at my expense, and I don't like it. I'm not liking how much fun you're having drinking free alcohol because it's not free.
Whatever y'all don't use, I'll take back and get my refund.
Right.
So it's like,
so make sure it's some left. Y'all doing 2 Modelo's at the same time? Y'all double fisting Modelo's at my wedding, and not tipping the bartender. I saw some people doing that. Man. Drop $1 in the cup, man.
Bro.
Yeah. Bring some ones to a wedding, man. I know it's open bar, but come on, man. Drop some ones in the cup.
Man.
Nobody wants to tip at anything. But yeah, so you get it, like, and you don't. This wasn't your experience, but I would imagine if at the time you're one of you and Stephanie's pregnancies lined up with a wedding, you guys probably would have made an executive decision to go, we need diapers and cribs, and we don't need to have a party right now.
I mean, ideally, would you want to? I think women would want to have that, wedding with the, with the belly.
Of course.
Yeah, but it's like we got to be realistic.
Yeah, come
Money
on, man.
is funny,
like,
and we only can do one of these. We can't be.
Yeah, exactly,
so
man.
we have a wedding.
20 stacks when the baby's coming any day.
Any day.
8.5 months, any day. And we don't even get to bust it down. We can't break it down on the dance floor. You're pregnant. You can't get down. Your knees got inflammation and stuff right now. Your feet are swollen.
Right.
You can't throw ass in this state. So let's wait till we pop the baby out. Then we have a party later on. I think that was a very smart decision to do it that way. So they said, let's go to the courthouse, make it official, do all the thing, and get the paperwork so we can start getting those benefits, and we'll figure out the party stuff later. So Wade asked Angelique to stop by her apartment on the way to her little intimate gathering of a wedding because she had gifts to give her. Angelique obliged. She made a detour on her way to her wedding to go visit her rekindled friend, Ashley Wade, for some gifts for her wedding.
I would love to know how close were they as friends?
That I don't know, but like the age, and also, listen, no disrespect, I know a lot of a lot of friendships for women come in seasons. Yeah. I've seen women be best friends. Yeah. And I'd be like, you guys are best friends? Like, oh, yeah. I'm like, when did you guys meet? Oh, 3 years ago. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, we've been best friends for about 3 years. We met at work.
Yeah.
And then you might run into that girl 2 years later and it's like, hey, have you talked to? No, fuck her. So it's like, you know, obviously childhood friends are universal, man, woman, whatever. But I think women, like we had a discussion a couple weeks back when we were talking about toxic masculinity and stuff. I can't tell you the last time I made a new friend.
Yeah.
Women are way more susceptible to like new friends in their adulthood than men. You know, so they'll meet a friend, hit it off. You guys got a lot in common. You work at the same job. You guys met at the same yoga class, and you guys are together for the whole summer. Yeah. And then you get engaged, and you're like, we've been friends the whole summer. I haven't spent time with anybody more than this. You should be my bridal party. And that person will be in your wedding. And 2 years later, it's like, oh yeah, no, I moved jobs, and I don't talk to you anymore. Y'all got pictures together for the rest of your life.
That's crazy.
So I've seen that. I feel like that's a lot more of an ability that women have than men.
Yeah, I just because I'm.
So at 24, like they could have been friends since they were 17. They could have been friends since they were 12. They could have been friends since they were 20.
High school friends. Yeah. I'm just because I can't say like because they were friends and they were friends before they just like stopped talking. So there's no way. I couldn't go like, you know, she should have brought somebody with her because it's like she obviously trusted.
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah.
You can't.
I think there was a trust there.
Trust
for sure.
there, and it's like,
and it's a woman. It's not like your first and it's a pregnant. We're both pregnant. Like everything that's been set up is like threat is no thought at all. It's like we're friends. We rekindled our friendship, and I'm sure their friendship didn't end on some fight shit or we just stopped being friends. So I don't think threat went to her mind at all. You know, so yeah, of course, yeah, I don't, you know, and she's on the way to her wedding. It's like, I'm going to stop by my friend's house, get these gifts.
No, I mean, just like, I haven't seen this girl in, you know, over how many years, but to go over to her house,
sure.
Like, to me, I don't, it's just.
I think that's you thinking as a dude.
I guess.
Get rekindling a friendship with another dude.
Because what do you have that I don't, like, you don't need to give me.
I'll get it from you next week. And that also goes to like dudes. See, that's the thing. Also, women by nature are like pleasers. So it's like, you got me something. Let me get it from you. I'm appreciative. A dude would be like, a dude knows dudes give shitty gifts. I'm like, I'll get that from you in like 6 months, man. I don't know. Like you can, and I'm not pressing you to give it to you. I'm like, I don't know, man. I wanted to be nice. I got you a little groomsman keychain. You can come get this in 2 weeks or something like that. You don't need to get it the day of the wedding. If it's not some old, borrowed, or blue, or new, and that's not you're not the person to give me that. We just got friends again. You're not giving me anything that I'm gonna be wearing in the wedding. So it's probably some glasses that say Mr. and Mrs. on it or something like that. We can get these in a couple of weeks. That's man brain. Yeah. Women are like, let me get a thank you card. Let me get it from them. They just told me, let me come get it. So I don't want them to be mad at me for not wanting their gift. Women are always like, let me put fires out.
Well, also
it's the maternal nature of women.
Also for men, you go, to me, I go, well, we were never that close, so I wouldn't be expecting you to give me anything. But if you have something to me, I would go, if I'm talking to somebody else, I go like, yeah, I talked to whoever, he got to give me something. But I go like, but we were never that close, so it's like, I would go, I'll come get it, but I'll probably never go get it. Because I would like, I'll go like,
I'll get over there.
I haven't talked to you or seen you, and I don't know what you're up to. I'll get it. Whatever. For a man getting a gift from a friend that you rekindle. I get Facebook messages from people from high school all the time. My life is so much different now than when I was 16 years old. I'd never want to see you. I like never want to hang out or anything like that. So anybody being like, we should grab a drink. Of course I'm gonna go. Yeah, for sure, definitely. But realistically, like, no, that's not gonna. I don't know you. I don't exactly.
There's family members that I go, I have not seen you since I was 10. I don't know
what you're up
I don't
to.
care if we're cousins. I don't know if you're a safe person to be around.
And that's what I mean. That's
man brain. That's man brain though.
Okay.
I feel like men go 10 years. Like you could be a killer.
Yeah.
Like I don't think women to women go, I haven't seen you in 10 years. You might be dangerous. I don't think women's brains go there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because we're gonna get into why. And it's not that it shouldn't have. I never want to say something that feels like I'm blaming somebody. For sure. But I'm just saying, like, the things that you're saying, if her brain worked that way in this moment, things would have played out.
But they're two women. They have something in common.
They're both pregnant. Right. Yeah, they were old friends. Yeah. There's a history there, you know. So, like I said, Wade asked Angelique to come on over to get her gift. And when Angelique arrived at Ashley Wade's apartment and entered inside, she was ambushed. Ashley Wade stabbed Angelique in her face multiple times before slitting her throat to prevent her from screaming for help.
Which is, by the way, calculated.
A deep cut.
Calculated?
Yes.
And some diabolical shit where you go like...
Malicious.
I mean,
very much so.
Man.
It's like, I'm in an apartment building. Let me stop her from being able to scream so I can, really do what I want to do. Which
that's like cutting somebody's Achilles. Where you like...
Oh, well, let's not get into that, man. Sore subject. Come on, man. You know what I've been through.
But I'm just like, if you don't want somebody to run, you slice them bad boys, and it's like...
It is very predatory.
Exactly, yes.
And for this to be a woman and 24 years old, for her to have a predatory thought of, shut up, be quiet, let me stop you from being able to scream forever, it's really, really, really gruesome. So, like I said, she was ambushed. She was attacked, stabbed about the face multiple times before her larynx was and her throat was slit and severed. And although Angelique fought for her life, being caught off guard and met with such severe injury so quickly caused her to bleed out on the floor of her apartment. And this is where the trigger warning comes, because what happened next is truly disturbing. Wade took a paring knife to Sutton's abdomen.
Yeah, which is a fairly small knife, by the way.
Yeah, like it's a precision knife.
Yeah.
It's for like cutting meat delicately. Like cutting the fat off of like a ribeye. She took the knife to her abdomen and cut out Sutton's uterus, taking a great deal of care to avoid the abdomen. This is a 24-year-old girl. This is not a surgeon. So it makes me think she maybe watched some C-section videos if those are available on YouTube. Yes. To nail a C-section in an apartment willy-nilly, it feels impossible. It feels unlikely that she did not prepare herself to do this with some kind of research. Where to cut? You know what I mean? Like, Yeah. Does that make sense? Am I off base?
No, but this is what we just talked about was like...
Because they said she cut under her stomach, like at the bottom. Like she knew
where
to go.
Supposed to cut at. Right.
Yes.
Again, how we were just talking about. I haven't seen you as like... Again, I'm not talking about this situation because it's not the same. But
yeah,
for us, like I go like, bro, I don't. This is what you've been up to since we haven't talked. I don't know that, and it's like, nah, man.
Yeah,
I'm good, man. I don't know what. No.
Yeah, you just never know what that person's.
Bro,
been up
I met a dude. I don't want to get off, but I met you, and I told you this story. This dude we went to school with. I haven't seen this dude maybe since. Graduated middle school, I think I haven't seen him. And I met this dude, and this dude was like, "Hey, man, I was at work, by the way. So I see you work at the post office. You know how bad I've been good, whatever. Hey, you think you can get some money orders?" I said,
"Can you commit a felony?"
Yeah, you get some money
because I got a great business opportunity for you.
And I go, "Oh, what? Oh, hit me. Oh, you got me on Facebook? All right, send me your number on Facebook, and I got you, man."
Yeah. Blockity, Dikembe Mutombo, Dwight Howard.
I'm like, nah, dog, get out of here. What?
Are you out of your mind? Hey, man, I know you haven't seen me since we were 12 years old. Are you cool with jeopardizing your freedom and your family to get me some money? And then maybe I'll give you a slice of that money? Because it wouldn't be a 50-50 situation. Well, it's illegal.
You want me to throw away what?
You want to potentially throw away your whole life for me, a guy that you met when you were 12? And haven't seen since you were 12? Yeah, man, I'll get back to you. All right, man, cool. He left that like, oh, it's about to be a call.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen him since.
Fran's going to get back to me. Fran's going to get back to me. We're going to business together.
That's crazy, man.
No, people are bold. So, yeah, you don't know what people... Also, oh, man, we got to move. I think we got to move. What dirtbag shit to be like, I haven't seen this person since I was 12. How do I... reintroduce myself to this person by letting them know that I'm a criminal. You know what I mean? Not like, here's some pictures of my kids. How are your kids? Do you have kids? Like, hey man, long time no see. You want to commit some crimes?
This is wild, man.
Yeah, we should no. That's sad.
I mean, and he wasn't like a good student. I mean, I went to school with someone like
sure.
He used to get in trouble in school. But
he stayed on the path he was on.
But for him, I haven't seen this dude in so long. For you to ask somebody to commit a felony. And I haven't seen you in like 10 plus. It's like, that's wild to me. It's wild. And it's like, what you expect?
And you got the work uniform where it's like, you're clearly like a working man. You're on the straight and narrow. He's like, you want to throw all that away? Fortune favors the bold, just not that day.
No.
He can probably get me at least like 50 money orders. You know, I could turn that to like a little 50,000. I'm like,
I didn't leave that conversation going like,
What if I potentially go to prison, never see my family again for
Maybe.
Johnny Appleseed
for maybe
from gym class
for maybe 20 grand or something like that? It's like,
yeah, like,
no, man. I didn't leave that. I got that conversation like,
you know, I have been thinking about diversifying my portfolio, maybe with fraud. You know, maybe I'll devise. I was gonna get some stocks and bonds.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just get fraud. I'll do some fraud, some lightweight fraud.
that's crazy, man.
No, man, it's bold. So you're right. Listen, 10 years is a long time. 5 years is a long time. Like, people can be somebody you know at 27 and you see them at 30 and they're a completely different person. People change, you know? And then that's the thing about time, man. Time is relative. Like, 3 years to me could have flown by, but 3 years to somebody else could have been the longest.
Yeah.
Homeless, like,
All kinds of
mental
shit could
break.
happen.
Like, it could have been the longest 3 years for somebody else. And for me, it's like, man, last time I saw you was at Red Robin.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, the day I left there, got addicted to heroin. Then I moved to Mexico. Let me get into that. You're like, what? I just been working. Yours is like, they tell you a whole thing. You're like, I just kind of been working,
That's
and
it, man.
this was 3 years.
I
Like,
run into people all the time where it's like, I go, hey, man, what's going on? And it's like, you can tell
life.
life just hit them.
Yeah.
And I'm like working. I'm leaving out with like some Roy Farms, you know, it's like some chicken tenders or something.
See,
They're like, how you been?
Well,
I'm like,
you know, stay up. Well, stay up.
I've been good, just working, you know, working. I got family and everything. And they're like, yeah, man, you know, I just
Like, yeah, that's good, man.
I've been going
I'm
through
real
some
happy
things.
for you having family and stability and everything.
Let me
like
get your
that.
number. And I go,
Let me get your Instagram. Let me give you my Instagram.
put your number in my phone. Because I'm not,
Give me yours.
I'm not
Yeah,
saving
give
it. I'm walking out of here. It was nice knowing you. in middle school.
You better leave it. Leave it right on the call screen, right in that square, and then you go, well, let me lock this, close this up, and go about my life.
Wipe it up, and then that app closes out, and then I move on. I go
Save
on
your
about
number.
I go about my business. You don't have nothing
to
that
offer
you
me.
to offer me at all. Like, I mean,
I didn't run into you at a real estate meeting.
No.
You were just standing outside this Royal Farms,
right.
and I happened to go, Kevin from middle school, and like that's how we ran into each other. We weren't both doing some fly shit.
Yeah.
Like, you were just like, you might have even been like, excuse me, sir, can I? And I'm not disrespecting the homeless, but I'm just saying you might have been like, excuse me, sir, can I borrow Alvin? If I meet you like that and we went to middle school or high school together, I'm never saving your number in my phone. I'm sorry. Like, if we weren't like best friends and I want to try to turn your life around and get you on the straight and narrow, even then, that's a taking on a real mission.
I mean,
and I don't know if I'm ready for that.
This wasn't a networking event. It was just
No, like, come on,
I
man.
ran into you because I at a Royal Farms, and it was just like, hey, man, what's up? How
You want to
been?
commit a crime?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
never saving that number in my life. Like, it's just never happening. But anyway, back to the story. So, like I said, she removed the uterus from the body and then removed the baby from the uterus sac, and then tossed the leftover viscera onto the floor in the bathroom apartment. It was an absolute like horror show in there. She then made a bottle of formula for the newborn because she had all kind of baby stuff there, wrapped her up, and then called her boyfriend and told him that she had just given birth, but that she had also done something terrible.
Like, she got jeans on. She's fully clothed with jeans on. Like,
Yeah.
I just had a baby.
I just had a baby.
What?
Where?
Yeah.
Why don't you have a hospital gown on? It's like, oh, I did a home birth by myself. Like,
Yeah.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing at all. So whether or not Ashley Wade was ever pregnant is not known, or whether her entire reason for reaching out to Angelique in the first place was part of some grand scheme from the very beginning. Neither of these things can be confirmed. She has not come right out and said that. But what is known is that Ashley's apartment was filled with baby paraphernalia. She was not pregnant at the time of the attack, nor was she pregnant when she reached out to Angelique, which means that all of, if not a lot of her posts on social media, her announcements to her family and friends were fake at some point. The reason I say that is I guess it's possible that maybe she was pregnant at some point in the last year before reaching out and maybe lost the child. That is possible. Yeah. But at no point in reconnecting with Angelique was Ashley Wade pregnant.
Now let me ask you a question. How many people do you think she reached out to before she got
Oh, I never even thought of that. Well, what are the odds? How many people do you know that are pregnant and then you see on social media? Like, because what you're positing is she wanted a baby.
Yeah.
how many people did she go like, hey, friend, long time no see. I see you're pregnant. Me too. We should reconnect. And then like Angelique is the only person that reached back out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say I don't know how likely it is that she had a circle of friends that were all, like she had many options. I think she saw somebody that she went, we used to be friends, close enough friends that I can reach out to her, close enough friends that I can tell her these lies.
I think it was
and
an
then she
easy
believed me.
opportunity for her.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know if she had another opportunity like it was between her, Angelique, and somebody else.
Yeah.
I think Angelique was a crime of opportunity. And also this woman clearly had a mental break of some kind, which we'll get into. But combine the mental break with I need a baby, and then boom, Angelique posts a picture of her holding her stomach and celebrating, with her boyfriend that she's pregnant with, and then I think, we'll never know for sure, but I think she started to formulate a plan from that point. Like when she saw that this person that she used to know, used to be friends with, was pregnant, I think the wheel started to turn at that point. Like, let me get in here. Maybe I'm going to steal the baby. Maybe I'll let her have the baby and then steal it from the hospital. Maybe I'll become such good friends with her that she'll like let me in the delivery room and then I'll steal the baby in the dead of night. I think at the very least, her plan was that.
Yes.
Like no matter what level of violence was to happen, I think that when Ashley Wade reached out to Angelique, the plan was, I'm going to take her baby. That's what I believe.
I don't think there was an alternate plan. I think that was the plan. It was
what she did was the plan.
What she did was the plan from the jump. Even if it was the whole rekindling the friendship was it was all a plan.
But I'm saying, do you think cut baby out was always the plan?
Yeah.
Because that goes to what I said about her familiarity with knowing where to cut in, and what to do.
Because I don't think any other plan would have worked. Her trying to get into I don't think that wouldn't have worked.
She wouldn't have been able to become that good of friends with her in this short amount of time.
Yeah, what year was this?
This was 2015.
2015. That wasn't that long ago. They use trackers on babies now. Like that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
when
that.
When Sophia Max was born, they put little trackers on their feet. So
okay.
That baby leaves.
So they would have been the founder immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alerted. Everybody's alerted.
Yes. The whole hospital shuts down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow. Okay. So, so like I said, those are the things that are known is that she was not pregnant. She had a bunch of baby clothes and formula and all this stuff in the apartment when Angelique got there. So when she commits this murder, cuts this woman's baby out of her, she has blankets and formula and toys and clothes. She has all the things there.
Yeah.
And then what starts to come out is, like I said, that she was never pregnant. So now it's like, well, why did you have those clothes? And then you really start to put the picture together. Like, so why'd you have these clothes? Were you just buying these clothes to trick your boyfriend and your family to think that you are pregnant, or were you preparing for something? And I think she was preparing for something.
Yep.
I think a defense attorney could, not that they did it in this case, we'll get to the trial obviously, but like I think a defense attorney could have gone, this woman had a break, she was buying clothes and stuff just to kind of like keep the lie going. I think a case could be made.
Right. And also you only can take that lie, but so at some point a baby has to pop up. If you're gonna ride this lie for 8-9 months,
yes, a baby has to show up.
A baby has to show up.
There's a time limit on this lie.
Yes.
And at some point a baby's got to be here, and that's where Angelique came into play, obviously. So I think, again, like you said, I think Ashley Wade knew, like, I'm buying this stuff. I think she was like a thicker girl, so I think she could kind of angle herself to take pictures and go, I'm developing and everything. She could do everything but have a baby. And so she had to solve that problem in her mathematical equation at some point.
Yeah.
Authorities arrived like pretty much immediately. Despite everything that she did, she killed somebody in an apartment building. Noise was made. So the authorities were contacted. They arrived at the gruesome scene. One of the detectives that arrived on the scene said what he saw in that apartment like shook him to his soul for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
While she was in custody, she revealed to detectives that she wanted to rescue the baby because she had lost her own.
Okay.
And then later on in a written confession, she stated that I sat there thinking about my child that died and thought that I couldn't have any more children die, so I rescued the baby. Which is just purely delusional.
Yeah.
Like to think that what you did was rescue a child by killing the child's mom and ripping her literally from her womb. These are the ramblings of a mad person.
Yes.
Like these are insane. Just this incoherent thoughts, this chaos, this nonsense. This person's crazy. So she also said that I sat there thinking about my child that died, and I thought that I couldn't have any more children die, so I had to rescue them. And then she went on to say, holding her felt right, and I believed that the little girl was mine. Fresh out, wrapped in a blanket. There's a woman dead on your floor, blood everywhere. And you went, it felt like to me, I had just had my child, and this was my child. And she called her boyfriend and said, I just had the child. I just had the baby, but I also did something bad. Terrible, she said. I also did something terrible. The baby girl survived the ordeal and was named Genesis. Months later, the baby would be present for the trial of her mother's killer. The prosecution would assert that Ashley Wade formulated this plan to kill her friend, but keep the unborn child alive before ever even reaching out to her. She was facing first-degree murder charges. The prosecution proclaimed to the jury the defendant needed Miss Sutton to die, and she needed for Genesis to live. She had baby clothes, baby shoes, diapers, formula, a crib, everything that an expectant mother would need except a baby. She didn't have a baby, and for that, she needed Angelique Sutton. And that's like a very damning opening statement.
Yeah.
For what the crime is, for the prosecution to lay it out that simple, I mean, that's like lays this case out perfectly. If you're asserting that she needed a baby, killed this woman for a baby, they did that in 4 sentences.
Yeah. Also, I got to mention, like, you know, you have to go to school to be, you know, to deliver babies. Like, she did this obviously wrong because, like, you know, she killed
she separated.
She killed the young lady, but for her to, like, do that and the baby's still alive, so it's like, you even was practicing.
It was accurate. It was accurate.
Yes.
It was accurate.
Like, that's crazy.
That's the thing. She did not kill the child. Like, that's my thing. Is this? We don't have any. I didn't see anything about her going to medical school or if she was a veterinarian. So I understand that we're just meat. We're just bags of meat, right? Like, if you're pregnant, there's a baby under your stomach, in your stomach, whatever. I might be making it more complicated than it is, but it's not, right? Like, people go to school to learn how to do C-sections.
Yeah.
The fact that she did it tells me she might have, even if she looked up a YouTube video, a YouTube a diagram on Google of like how C-sections work. It's screaming to me that she did something. She did some kind of research. I just can't. I have a hard time believing she grabbed a knife. She didn't use a box cutter. Like, she used a paring knife. Like, everything that she did felt like it felt intentional. You know. So I don't know. Like, I agree with you. It feels the fact that she did it.
Yeah.
And that Genesis survived. It's a testament to how much strategy was involved in this.
For sure.
You know, so yeah, absolutely insane. So the defense asserted that Ashley did not intentionally kill Angelique, stating that something could have gone horribly and terribly and tragically wrong within Miss Wade's own mind, which is not a good defense at all. To just say possibly she had some kind of nervous, you got to be able, are there experts present? Like, what are we doing? Because just
was
saying
the test involved, like what?
Yeah, like you're just saying. I think it's possible that she might have just kind of lost touch with reality. It's like, well, she still did something really fucking horrible. I mean, I need you to bring a little bit more than that.
Right.
So the trial lasted nearly 2 weeks, and it largely came down to whether the jury believed that Wade killed Sutton intentionally in order to kidnap and keep her baby, or whether she snapped and cut out her baby as an afterthought. And I would ask you, Fran, those are the two options. Those are the two scenarios. What is more likely to you?
She intentionally killed Miss Sutton.
Yeah.
And cut out
the idea of her snapping and killing her and then being like, oh my God, the baby.
Yeah.
Let me get the baby out.
Yeah. You could do both.
That feels,
you could do both. And that's what she did.
Yeah. Yes. I find it hard to believe that they got into some kind of argument. She killed her, and then in a split second went, oh yeah, she's pregnant. I didn't want to kill the baby. Let me save the baby. No. Because again, baby clothes, the lies. Yeah. You gotta add all the context. You can't just go, it's possible they got into an argument, they got into a scuffle, she killed her by accident, and then went, oh my God, I didn't want to kill the baby too. Let me save the baby. You gotta go, well, why did she have formula ready to be able to make the baby a bottle and baby clothes and blankets? And why did she lie and say she was pregnant? You got to add all that context, and then that second possibility that the defense is trying to say was a situation that could have happened goes right out the window.
Yeah.
a fight that killed her, but then she
No.
in the moment, like right after, she's like, she died. That's so, I can't believe I did that. Oh my God, let me get the baby. That one goes right out the window.
Yeah.
And it goes right, and all fingers point to this was all intentional and premeditated. So in November of 2017, State Supreme Court Justice Margaret Clancy imposed a sentence of 25 years to life for the murder, plus an additional 15 years in prison for kidnapping. The kidnapping sentence was to be served consecutively to the murder sentence, so 40 years in total.
That's not enough time, man.
Well, it's 40 to life. So I think
40 to,
she
okay.
has to, she has to serve 25 years before she's eligible for parole.
Got you. I'm about to say. All right.
But she has to serve 40 years before she's eligible for parole because of the 15 years for kidnapping.
Got you. Okay.
So yeah. So she's eligible. So they left parole on the table, basically. But she had to serve 25 years. But I think she has to serve 40 now because of the kidnapping charges as well.
Good.
Before she's even eligible. And then you bring this before a parole board that she cut a baby out of somebody. They're not letting the lady out of jail because she's gonna be alive. I mean, she's 25 years old. Like, she's gonna be alive in 40 years. That's so crazy to be, man.
That's
65 years old. That's a long fucking time. And to get it so young, where you're like, you're gonna serve that 40.
Yeah.
Whew. You're gonna serve a lot of this, and then you're gonna go before a parole board hearing, old, no family, and alone.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna bring back up to you what you did, and then send you back to your cell because there's no way a parole board's letting this lady out of prison. There's just no way. So you're gonna get your hopes up after 40 years.
Man.
You're gonna go sit down and go, I've changed. I got my degree. And I was a different person back then. They're gonna go, yeah. But you cut a baby out of a woman and she died. So we're gonna deny that. So that's her life. That's her life for the next 40 years. Ashley Wade wept in court as the judge gave her sentence. When given an opportunity to address the court, she said, "I'm so sorry. No words can say how sorry I am. I'm sorry for hurting so many people. I wish I knew why." Now, Fran, my question to you is, that is the story of Angelique Sutton and Ashley Wade, and the story of how Genesis was born. Yeah, absolute tragic. Like I said, the New York Post was calling her the womb raider. They were having, being a little cheeky with that one, but absolutely, I mean, like you pretended to get back into good graces with an old friend with the purpose of stealing her child and killing her in the process. To you, does her mental state matter to you at all? Or is this so gruesome that it's like, who gives a shit if she wasn't in the right? It's terrible.
No, this is terrible. This is terrible. It was all, but what makes it worse, it was all calculated. We don't know how long. We don't know how long that she was cooking up this plan, because you just can't. I find it hard to just look at a YouTube video and going like, oh, now I know how to do a season.
Oh, I got it. I get it.
I feel like that she's, I don't know, practice somehow. I don't know. It's just, I feel like this plan took a while. I think it took the length of her pregnancy. Yeah. And was like,
because she had to create a narrative. Exactly. She had to post.
Exactly, man.
She had to get a story out there so she could go, I'm pregnant too. Go look back 6 months. You can see me posting all kind of stuff to verify. Like you said, if Angelique was skeptical, she could go on her Facebook and go back 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, and see Ashley Wade also posting pregnancy content. Yeah. So she had to create the world. So yeah, you're right. I mean, who knows how long this was a plan? Yeah, man. Or and this is another question about if this changes things for you. What if, like you said, what if Ashley Wade was already in the midst of a terrible plan of lying, and then she felt like that lie was coming to an end? Her boyfriend is expecting a child, her family's expecting a child, and then bam, she stumbles upon an old friend and sees that she's pregnant. So is it better to you that, let's say she was lying for 7 months, but she wasn't lying with the intention of doing anything to Ashley for 7 months, but then on that last 2 months, she saw the out of oh my God, she still does something terrible, but she wasn't plotting on this girl for, does it make it better for you if she wasn't plotting on this girl for 9 months?
Nah, man. I don't think she was doing that. I think
that's what I think. I think she was just lying in general.
Yeah,
I think she was just lying.
And then when it came to I need to figure this thing out, she
stumbled upon a happy opportunity for her.
She came across Miss Sutton, and then, but also I would love to know how the interaction with Miss Sutton and Wade when she first got there?
Oh, I don't think there was. I think she
You think
probably
off the rip
at
it
the
was
at
just
the.
because I think
I think she ambushed her. I think she ambushed her immediately.
you think so. Yeah, I do think that, but I'm sure Miss Sutton walked in when she first met up with her. I know she knew something was off when she met with her. Where it was just like,
Oh, I'm sure she wasn't hiding any kind of
her. I know she probably didn't say it, but in her age, probably was like, this girl's not. She's not pregnant.
Yeah. Also, it's like,
But that'll throw you off.
I can just. I'm going. Also, it's like, again, we don't know because
right.
Unfortunately, Angelique Sutton
Yeah.
is not here anymore. But if I'm going to my wedding, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna pull up to the building and you can just run down and come bring it to me. So any kind, and it's so for her to, and this is New York. I think it was the Bronx. So I don't know the parking situation in the Bronx, but like New York is notoriously, you're not just parking in front of the building all the time. Right. Like sometimes it's busy. So the idea that she was met with, no, I need you to come up to the apartment. It's like, yeah, but girl, it's my wedding day. Yeah. No, but I just need to talk to, like, I'm sure she had to do a lot of gymnastics to get her up there on her wedding day. As opposed to like, I'm just gonna pop. I'm gonna come down the block. You just meet me downstairs in front of your building, and you can throw it in the car, girl, because I got to get to my wedding. No, it's too big. I need to. Something got her up there. Yeah. So I think in those, whether it's a walk up, going and they had to take the elevator, I think in those moments, I'm sure something felt off. But I think once she didn't come down and meet her and just told her, I got my hands full up here. I'm too pregnant to walk down these steps. So walk up. You walk up. Yeah. I don't know. Something got her to come to the apartment building. And I take back what I even just said now, because I think Angelique Sutton came to the door. I don't even think she came down and got her, then walked her, because why would you come down and get her? You could have just come give me the present.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, so I think she just told her, like, I'm in 3B. Come on up. Knock on the door. I think she opened the door, probably behind the door. And then when she walks in, I think she was ambushed. I don't think there was any kind of talking or trickery I don't think there was any of that. I think she was caught completely off guard, which is really sad. Yeah. Because the quickness in which she was able to deliver death blows, like she started stabbing her in her face and then slit her throat. Like it was in an instant. So I don't think she had any time to even process what happened. There was no shadiness, no suspicion. I don't think any of that happened. It was, and it's just so callous and horrible and evil, and it left me speechless when I read the story. I mean,
yeah,
it's really
man.
Sad.
And doing these stories, and I wanted to bring up two other stories that I found that was similar to this, because I think one of us, we've done a story like this before on the show. Yeah. And a lot of these stories they are scripted the same exact way. Yeah. Right. It's always the same things. That's common.
Told somebody I had a baby coming.
Exactly. Common in all these stories. So this one story I came across was a former Oregon nurse's aide, Danelle Lane, who was 35, attacked Michelle Wilkins, who was 7 months pregnant and had responded to Mrs. Lane's online ad for maternity baby clothes. So a lot of these stories is always like,
a trick.
A trick, that's how you lure them in to get them to, wherever you are. So you're like, for instance, Miss Wade, she wanted to rekindle friendship because it was something that Miss Sutton had that she wanted, right?
Yes.
And in this case, Miss Lane lured in Miss Wilkins to the house and, hey, I have some baby clothes online.
Pretending to be a benefit to this person,
right.
Luring them, and especially in a vulnerable time. I don't know if this woman was a single mom, pregnant and it's like, hey, I have something that you need, and you can have it for free.
Yep. An
olive branch.
And she ended up attacking Miss Wilkins, but Miss Wilkins survived this attack. And this was the attack was on March 18th of 2015. The baby didn't survive. But when Miss Wilkins came into Mrs. Lane's house in Longmont, about 40 miles north of Denver, Lane beat and stabbed her, cutting into her uterus and removing the fetus. So authorities said that Lane had been carrying out a plan that she was pregnant. So she was also lying to say she was pregnant. And her partner testified that he came home early to take Miss Lane to her doctor's appointment and found her covered in blood and saying that she had a miscarriage. Not knowing Wilkins was bleeding in the basement. And the partner said that he took Lane and the baby to the hospital. So I mean, this guy walked in and was like, "What the fuck is what is going on here?" And Miss Wilkins is in the basement, like dying. So Miss Wilkins, who was 26 at the time, managed to lock herself in a room and called 911. She did what she could to stem the bleeding, and she was treated at Longmont United Hospital. And doctors who treated Wilkins at the hospital said that the incision appeared to have been well performed by someone who researched C-sections. And that's like, I mean,
there's research. There's research to be done.
Yes, there's research.
I mean, you can find out anything on YouTube, on Google these days. So that's, I think that's the same thing as in the Ashley Wade case for sure.
Right. And again, this lady was a nurse's aide that.
Oh, that's different then. Yeah, she has prior experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yep. So again, she was a certified nurse's aide. She was found guilty in February of attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and 2 counts of second-degree assault and unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and was sentenced to 100 years in prison. Yep. And Lane said that she had not recovered. Well, her mom in court said that she had not recovered because her son died from an accidental drowning. So she lost a child.
Is having another child, and then you killed that child.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean like the Miss Lane, that was the one that tried to take the baby. She lost her child.
Oh, so she had a break.
She had a break. And she
had
wanted another, and it was just like, and though it's crazy how all the stories, like something happened in the past.
Yeah. That
kind of gets them to do actions like this.
It's like separates you from reality.
It's like, and there was another incident in 2009. A lady, Karina Roberts, went to a neighbor's yard sale and was like pulling out baby stuff. Like she put out a blue stroller decorated with teddy bears. And the neighbor, Miss Wendy, asked, why you need the stroller, right? Because she was like, her kids are grown. They don't need to be pushed around. So it was, for her, it was odd. It was just like one of those things where you go like,
why are you getting that?
Yeah. But she asked, she's like, why do you need that or whatever?
Yeah.
And she's saying that she told her that she was pregnant. She was like, I'm pregnant. So police now say that Robert's pregnancy was a false story. And the 27-year-old was charged with killing a pregnant friend, Heather Snively, and said that she cut open the 21-year-old's abdomen to take her baby out and passed it off as hers. Snively ended up, she passed away. Her body was found in a crawl space in Roberts' suburban Hillsborough home, and the infant died as well. And she was convicted, and she served life in prison without parole.
And for me, I did a story probably about a year or two ago on a woman named Tika Adams. I got the story from it. I survived. Yeah. So she survived. I believe the baby survived too. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been a while. But the woman that attacked her came under the guise of being working for like child protective services or something like that, and was being a friend. Like, I'm taking a special liking to you, and I want to make sure you get everything that you need, clothes and strollers and all. And that's how she got her to get her to her house, and she tried to kill her and cut her baby out of her. So again, I believe the woman also had told her husband that she was having a baby or something like that. Like it is often a similar script, because I think that's such a devastating moment for a woman to whether be with child and lose the child, have a child, like you in this case you were talking about, your child drowns, and you just I can't imagine the feeling of losing a child. There can't be a worse feeling, and sometimes you break and you can't come back, and you end up doing terrible things. And so there's cases of this out there, and this Ashley Wade one was no different. It was absolutely like unbelievable what the human mind can create. It really is. Like, I'm so fascinated by psychology in that way. Like, this set of circumstances can happen, and it could turn you into the worst person in the world. I don't think there's anybody who knew Ashley Wade when she was 15 years old that could go, I think she's a dark person capable of horrible things. She's evil. I don't think you would say anything. And then to find out somebody cut a baby out of a person, that's like Texas Chainsaw. It's like the darkest thing I've ever heard. And 5 years prior, this might have been some girl who just was like 20 years old, 19 years old, and just no thoughts of anything like this. And something happened, and she's just broke from reality and was capable of doing absolutely disgusting things.
Also, at the end of everything, you do all that. You do a gruesome thing like that, and then at the end, you go like, "This is my baby." That's nuts, man.
It's absolutely
That's
crazy.
nuts.
I feel like I've talked about this. Shout out to Esther from Once Upon a Crime. I went on her podcast, Let's Talk About Crime, and we talked about Kamaya Mobley. She was on Ayanla Fix My Life. Love that show. Her mother, I think she was born at a time before the time you described where they have trackers. Mm-hmm. And this woman just drove to a hospital. Like she lived in like North Carolina, some city in North Carolina. She drove outside of that city to like a hospital outside of the city that she lived in. Pulled over to a hospital, walked into the NICU, and just snatched the baby and just took one and raised this girl till she was like 14. Till she was like 14 years old, and then she found out that she was like a missing person from like the news or something. Or her mom told her after she had to keep moving because she got a birth certificate. She had a whole new life. They were just living their life, and it turns out she snatched this baby from a hospital, and that girl was psychologically damaged, still calling that lady mom after she got arrested and everything, and like was not able to have a relationship with her real mother because the mom kept being like, that fucking bitch stole you. She's like, don't talk about my mom like that. Like she really had this.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't give you away.
She was fucked up. She was fucked up. Yeah, she was fucked up. Like it fucked her up. She could not, because this woman was nice to her, raised her, treated her like her daughter for 14 years. And then you're telling me my mom's a thief and a terrible person. Like, no, she's not. She's my mom. And that's hard to like put back into place because she wasn't a thief and all this to me. She was my mom. So the psychology of all of this it's insane, So what she expected when she took that baby, to think that it was even possible to go, I'm just going to pass her off as mine. Yeah. This body, I'll get rid of it. Nobody will ever look for this girl again, even though I killed her on her wedding day. Like
past that, I think.
Of course she didn't. That's what I mean. Like, whatever. She only was like, you're my baby, and we're gonna go to the park, and I'm gonna raise you. And there was no thoughts of like the real reality of what's happening around. The blood all over the walls. It just was like, oh my God, a baby's here, and you're in the midst of a crime scene of the epic proportion, the most horrible things. None of it was even a factor, and that's the scariness to me. That she was able to keep her like fantasy alive until the police showed up. So yeah, rest in peace to Angelique Sutton. Absolutely tragic. Prayers to Genesis. I hope she, gets the therapy or anything that she needs. This young little baby girl, whatever she needs, I hope she gets it, and I hope the family's able to recover from this absolutely crazy story. Fran, what are you thankful for this week, man?
This week, I'm thankful for. I got a new car. I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
Let me clap you up one time. Would you like to share with the people, the unfortunate? Did your car have a name? Charge?
No,
did it have a name?
I didn't have a name. So, and this is, I guess this could lead to another conversation. Why not? We got time. So, I think this is the night after the day you came over. It was like a Friday night.
Sure.
So you came over to, because to set up the whole home setup for the recording.
Mm-hmm.
And then that night, I went to bed maybe like 10, 11. And I heard this bang that woke me and stuff out about sleep, right?
Of deep sleep.
Deep sleep. And this is funny because like I do this thing where if I react to something, I don't talk. Stuff that says like it scares me because you don't talk.
You locked in.
I thought somebody was breaking in my house.
So we don't got time to just quiet.
There's no, it's like, man, I don't know what's going, and I'm out, and I'm just I'm from a deep sleep, I'm waking up, I'm like, whatever's going on, I gotta.
Confused.
I gotta handle it. And she's like, well, you scare me because you don't talk. It's like, I don't got time. My brain is doing.
What's there to say?
I was like, I don't have time. We don't have time to talk right now. So the first thing I do, I don't own a gun. So I'm grabbing my two special knives that I have. like
by the bed,
like full on,
yeah.
like
Wolverine
I'm
style.
ready. I don't know what's going on. I'm ready. Now we have an alarm system, and we have a dog as well. The alarm didn't go off, and the dog didn't bark. So I went, okay. So I go downstairs in the basement, nothing. I'm like, all right, well. So then I look outside.
I definitely heard something. Like it's no question, right? This was a noise that, like, it's no way that it was a dream.
And it was,
you heard something.
Popped up, and the thing, and I hopped up, and Steph go grab the kids, and like it was just like a whatever's going on, it's prepared. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you both didn't have some crazy dream.
Like, okay. So I'm looking out, I'm peeking out the window, and I'm like, I see something. And then I saw like a light, like somebody holding a camera or light from an iPhone coming down the street. So I go, all right. So I run to the front, and I looked out the back, so I run to the front, and I see people standing in the street. I'm like, so I'm going outside. Steph like, she's like, no, don't go outside. I'm like, fuck that. I'm locked in, right? So I'm like,
the adrenaline's still going. You're awake. It's not going back to sleep.
It's pumping.
There's no going.
I'm going out. I got the knives. I got knives in my hand, bro. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going outside.
I'm ready.
I go outside, and we park on the street. And it's like 5 cars. It's my car, a neighbor's car, 2 other neighbors' cars, Steph's car, and another van. I get out there, and they go, yeah, somebody hit your car. I said, I go out there, a truck, like a big pickup, hit 5 cars. I said,
just swiped them all.
My car on the curb. I said, you got to be kidding me. I was like, my car. From the door, I said, my car, it's done. My car is done. The guy next to me just got that car. I talked to him another day. He said, yeah. He's like,
if I ever find that car.
I talked to him the other day. He's like, yeah, I owe money. They only
when they totaled him out?
He's out.
They totaled him out less than what he. Oh.
He said, I owe money. I said, damn.
No, that's. Ooh.
So I go out there.
That'll make you think criminal thoughts.
What? So it was luckily some neighbors up the street that live in a single family house came down. One of the black guys, because the truck that hit us lost a wheel. So the truck got away with 3 wheels. So he goes around the corner to see if he can like find if somebody stopped.
Yeah. An oil track or something.
So we had to wait for the police come, do a report, and the tow truck come. So I got news that my car was done. The car was almost paid off. That was my baby too. Almost paid off. So they ended up I got cashed out from that, and I had to go get a new car. But yeah, man, it's just. So I went like 2-3 weeks without a car, which was rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
every ending has a new beginning.
Hit and run, totaled my car. Yep.
Got away with the 3 wheels. That person was perseverance.
Yeah,
man.
so it was like 12 in the morning, so it was like that person was drunk. Faded. And
yeah.
I bet you they woke up after they hit all them damn cars.
Hell yeah. However they maneuvered that 3-wheel car, they were wide-eyed.
So
they didn't doze off again for the rest of that drive.
Yeah. So again, I believe in karma. And you do some
some
shit like that, man, where
it comes back to you.
A couple of the other guys up the street, like people got families where it's like they have a 1-car household, like you throwing a wrench in the, and it's like
everyday people's lives.
Man, it's like some people can't.
That
go to
guy
work.
specifically though just got a car. They total you out, and it's for less than what you owe on the car, so you can't even get a new car. You still owe. You're gonna still have to pay on a car that doesn't exist anymore.
I said. And nobody park on that damn. That street is empty. Nobody park over there.
Done. No, it's done.
Nobody park over there.
That's done. No, it's done.
Man. So that's the story. I had to go get a new car. Yep.
Yeah, well, good, man. From what you described to me, I think you got you a good one. How's it running? It's good. It's smooth ride.
A smooth ride. It's a little smaller than my old car, but it's like I like it.
Right.
Now I like the car because I'm trying to build back on my credit. So it's like once I leased it. So after that, I'll go and. Once I build my credit up, I can go get something I really
step up. Yeah,
really like. So it's like it's all steps to it, but I do like
it's the process.
Yeah,
it's the process. No, for sure, man. Me personally, this week I'm thankful for pools, man. Like being able to go submerge myself in some water, get that aquatic experience, but not going to the ocean and deal with the elements of that. And I'm also thankful mostly for my lack of a thrill-seeking gene.
Same.
I find fun in trying a new food, going to the movies with my best gal, cooking at home, and maybe the fire gets a little hot, go grease pop on you. Ooh, yeah. I find thrills and stuff like that. I don't need to jump out of planes. No. I think there's a lot of people that feel this void, and they try to fill it with like extreme sports and stuff. And I don't have that, and I'm really thankful because sometimes it goes very wrong, and you end up crushed beneath the ocean alone in a soda can. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful I don't have that need. So it's a lot to be thankful for. We're all alive.
For sure.
Our lungs are intact. Our cars are intact for a lot of us. Thankfully, we didn't get in a situation like Fran. And so there's a lot to be thankful for, folks. And just keep that in mind as we continue to head into the summer and enjoy a nice, fun summer. But we also know that when it gets hot, people act a little crazy. So, I encourage everybody to be safe.
One thing, what I am excited about? I hope we continue to do this podcast for a long time. But yes. I can't wait until I can go back and listen to run it through it again. Because so much shit has happened.
This podcast is a real time capsule, man.
I cannot wait to go back and go like, damn.
We lived through that.
Yeah, man.
We potted through that one. We potted through this one.
I really can't wait for that.
No, we potted through some shit, man. I might go back to the early coronavirus episodes, man. That was a lot of like, I don't know, man. I think maybe like another 2 weeks of this whole everything shut down, and then everything's just gonna go back to normal. 8 months later, just super wrong. Then I think like the next week it was like, hey guys, so Fran's not here.
I'm sick.
I was like, this is like I was like, I think this is like a cold. Everything's fine. 1 week later, it was like, hey guys, so Fran is I'm under quarantine. I'm sick.
Man,
Fran.
I think
I think they got me. I think they got me, man.
Oh shit.
Man, good times, man. Good times. But listen, once again, I've been Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans. And we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.